Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Welcome back to Morning Barbados on this fabulous Friday. I feel like a kid. I'm so excited. JMartin, morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
Listen, you have a wonderful subject to work with today.
I agree.
That is incredible. I mean, if I didn't see it, I wouldn't believe it. That you could just, during the course of 20 minutes, just do such wonderful ear brushing.
Yes, thank you. It comes natural to me. It just flows. It comes natural.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't know how you do it. Is it you find it easier working with subjects like people or abstract work, or what?
Like I said the last time I was here, I love people, and I do find people easy to work with. I always observe people, and portraits is my specialty.
Oh, well, it's obvious. You do a very good job with portraits. My gosh, look at that. Wonderful, wonderful. My goodness. So what other work are you doing in terms of your portrait work here in Barbados on this trip? What other things are you doing? Which other subjects have you been working on?
You are my first portrait here in Barbados.
Oh, okay.
But I'm available to do more portraits. If anyone wants a portrait done, I'll be happy to do one for them. I know you're speechless.
You're right. I am speechless. No one will believe it.
Yeah.
My son will be very, very happy. Katrina?
I'm just listening and watching the events unfold, and you're looking rather smug and very, very pleased with your portrait. As well, you should be. John is back, an artist who clearly works very well in all media, and his very proud father Hal is here still with us talking. Yes. Art just comes from John. I feel like he's always pulled to it. He's always drawn to it. There's always something to do, but the formalizing of it, tell me a bit about that journey. How did you get it? You know, you said you first saw this thing that he did for you and you said, right, let's get to work. How did you get to work in an area where, you know, you still have the perception of the starving artist?
Yes. Well, you know, my background is business. I do business. I move people. I look at their dreams and I make it happen. I made my money by working with doctors, making sure that they have the practice to work with the equipment and all of that. So it's easy for me to work with my son. And LA is a place where it's a breeding ground for artists. There's all kind of avenues. So it was easy for me. When he came to me with the idea, I said, well, look, let's do LA. So I set him up in a store, and voila, there you have it.
And I take it that setting him up in an enabling environment was a better business move than perhaps an environment like the Caribbean, where we have talented artists, but we do not have an environment yet that encourages them in a broad-based kind of formal way. Was that a hard choice for you?
No, the youth need exposure and connection. Down. Let's take, you just saw Rihanna with her music. So it's, you know, a similar parallel journey. The first world country, United States, particularly offered the young artists, depending on whatever their discipline is, it offered them that immediate exposure and opportunity. And I'm hoping that John can spend some time with us here in Barbados, because I brought him in to do, as Doug mentioned earlier, to redo the portrait of Bridgetown, you know.
We're going to take a look at some of that work. Yeah, we're going to take a look at some of that work.
But it's an opportunity for to give the young people hope. You know, they're going in all directions. They can use their skills. And if a young man like my son, coming out of St. Andrew, you know, can do this today,
sky's the limit.
The sky's the limit for the young people.
I want to ask John, how difficult it was restoring this piece of work?
It's not quite restored, it's redone. There's a lot of stuff that I put into it that wasn't actually there, a lot of detail that I added. And again, art is my love, art is what I do, and it just flows for me. And I mean, to others who do not really understand the talent of art, I believe that talent coming from God like that, I just open up and allow it to channel through me. And I can't really explain it. It just is.
Giving it the John Martin touch. What special elements you brought to that piece?
The
of art
special
that
elements would be
were not there.
the sky. I add the clouds, which represents peace and love. You'll see peace signs and hearts in the sky. And the detail to the Parliament building, which I understand is the third oldest parliament in the Commonwealth. And I wanted to represent that. I wanted to do it justice. So I went downtown and I took an actual picture of that building to make sure I got the detail correctly. I like to, if I'm going to recreate something that's already in existence, I love to make it as close to that as possible.
And I saw the touch-up work there with the old-fashioned vendors.
Yes.
Yeah, in the square.
A touch of old Barbadiana in there.
Old Barbadian. Yeah. How do you blend the two? Because you talked about going back to Bridgetown, looking at it, and then remembering that this is yesteryear. How do you?
Well, my process is simple. The building haven't changed. It's the same building. The buildings around the Parliament building have changed. So I researched the cars with my dad's help. He drove some of these cars in the early 70s. So I researched those cars and got the detail. I searched the internet to make sure the cars represented that era. And the people, it was easy for me to just recreate and add people within there walking down the streets back and forth. It's 4:20 in the afternoon, in the evening, so at that time there are a lot of people on the street. I want to make sure I got it right.
Have you seen other pieces of work here in Barbados that you think can use your touch?
I'm sure there are many. I wouldn't expose or say anything that specific, but I think Barbados could appreciate this kind of work in detail. I came back here specifically for that purpose, to recreate this piece. It took me a year to come back. My dad had been asking me for a year to come back to do this, and I'm here, and I want to get as much exposure and give Barbados as much exposure to my type of talent.
What's next? What other big project you have in the works? Knowing your father, he has something else working for you.
Actually, you can come to the Regency Cove Hotel. I'm doing this is the first one. I have about another 3 pieces and probably more that I'm displaying within the hotel.
And you're also going to be doing airbrushing of individuals.
If that comes up, I probably will. And with you saying it, I guess there are many out there who could and would want that kind of work, so yes, I would be.
Listen, I endorse his work, I'm telling you. Excellent, excellent. You should do something for Katrina, though. I think she'll make a wonderful subject.
I agree. She's very beautiful.
Doug, I think he's done you wonderful justice, and I'm quite happy just to gaze on the work that has been produced so far. I very much appreciate local talent, local art, and a man who is humble enough to say this talent comes from God, and we just let it flow. So I'm happy just to see your portrait, Doug. Hal, final words. It seems as if you said the sky is the limit. We're restoring paintings. We're doing airbrushing. We're painting signs on shoes for Missy Elliott. We're writing books. There's no end to this young man's talent. What's next? How do you harness all this raw, bristling kind of adrenaline so that it has a degree of longevity?
Katrina, I'm on my way out, whether we like it or not. So
no, you're younger than springtime.
Katrina, you must be realistic. All I'm trying to do is make sure that we hand over to the youth. The youth is our future, and we've got to make sure we create an avenue for these young men to move forward. So this is one of them. There are a few more. There's the business side of me, and it is my intention to sit with so-called the boys on the block, the Sean Hines, the Tony Kelman. These youngsters are the guys out in Pori Spring, the guys in Shop Hill. These must be targeted in order for the young fellas to move forward and take the ownership of our country.
Well, you talk
Barbados.
You talk about opening avenues. This is a whole highway that John has opened. And I have one more question for him, Doug, if you will indulge me. Or perhaps you want to ask.
No, I was curious as, the Bridgetown scene, have you thought about influencing it with some old Bajan characters, the King Dial.
Actually, yes, King
Gearbox.
Dal. King Dal definitely will be there.
Okay.
He will be there.
Yeah.
Come by and see it.
Certainly will do. Will do. John, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Pleasure is mine, sir.
Keep it up.
Pleasure
Keep
is
it
mine.
up. Great, brilliant talent indeed.
And Hal, it's been great to meet you and your vision for the young people of Barbados and the avenue/highway that John has opened for them. We're really proud of, and we endorse it here on Morning Barbados. Whenever there's new work, come on back and let us know what you're doing. We've been talking to the father-son team of Hal and John Martin. John is an artist extraordinaire who did a live airbrushing piece for us this morning. We're going to give you a shot of what Doug looks like immortalized in airbrush very shortly. Hal is the business behind pushing to make sure this young gentleman is an example for the young people of Barbados to push their talent. We're going to be back with more on Morning Barbados.
Morning Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
For a place